they've stopped getting offers because maybe now she's hit like 38, 40. And then it's almost like they've kind of gone into this dark hole.
You can see the panic in those women's eyes when those looks start to fade. Subscribe, let's talk about it.
Life is just not easy for the woman when she hits a certain age. We're talking about women who've kind of had this high life and then they've stopped getting offers because maybe now she's hit like 38, 40. And then it's almost like they've kind of gone into this dark hole now. It's so toxic.
So here's the thing. Most men don't feel sorry for those women, and I'll tell you why. The reason men don't feel sorry for them is because the experience that she begins to go through when she's older is the experience 90% of men go through every single day. The guy who works at the post office, the guy who helped you pack your bag, the guy who delivered your Amazon parcel, the guy in your class, the guy that you worked with, most guys are invisible. It is only the high value guys that catches women's attention, the guy who's tall, attractive, in shape, successful. So when women who have had that taste of the high life, have been that desirable, gotten all the attention, everything, they then get to a point where now they're being treated how most guys are treated. Guys don't feel sorry for them. A lot of guys feel that if you wanted to have a partner, have a family, and settle down, you get to that point in life and you haven't done that, it's because you fucked up, because you definitely had an abundance of opportunity to do that. So it's very difficult for a lot of guys to have sympathy, because for a lot of guys it's like, this is how it's been for us since day one. And most of us don't even get to a point where we can attract a girl like you. You've been there, you've had the chance to get those guys, but because you decided to play around, maybe you didn't want it serious, and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but you have to accept what comes with the path that you choose.
I think what some women don't understand is it's not malicious. It's just an understanding. For so many years of our lives, we were judged by what we could produce, not, given the benefit of doubt. And, this is just pretty privilege, given the benefit of doubt because we look a certain way, thinking that, hey, we have more altruistic motives. Hey, we're usually right. Or people bending over backwards to sort of accommodate our lives. Men do this to women all the time, just as part of pretty privilege. Society does this all the time. So when Father Time comes and says, hey, the bill is due, the bill comes due and starts to take away a lot of that extra attention. Now you're left kind of panicking and looking and calling it unfair and saying, now there's something wrong with the men. You had maybe a decade and a half of time where you could have had your pick. You may not have been satisfied with what that attention was around. You may have been shooting too high, but you're allowed to do that. That's the mating strategy you picked. Men have always been saying, at least when we created these spaces, to say the same thing. You play by that game. Yes, there's plenty of opportunity. You don't have to be the one that builds wealth, builds connections, builds a network in order for you to be on a private jet, for you to be on a yacht, to have vacations paid for, to have a life of luxury built off someone else, even to go as far as demand an allowance, to demand that you be entitled to a portion of what he worked for simply because you're around, because you're pretty, you're beautiful. What you forget is that attention is narrowly focused on a band of time. If this is when he finds you the most attractive, once you start falling out of that, his attention, that allure, starts dropping out. And besides, when you play that game, you also have to accept the other side of it, the other side of the coin, the consequence. That eventually he's just going to say, yeah, there's a lot of beautiful women like you. Outside of the beauty, I don't see any other value in you. Remember, you're trading on these looks. So to look at him and say there's something wrong with him, there's something unfair about that, we're all going to look and say, what game you're playing here. You know that you're starting this game with what seems like the upper hand, but it's not. So when the panic hits you, when you get older and you want to turn around and make these think pieces, when you complain about it, men are looking at it and say, but this is part of the game. It's not even hidden in the terms of service. No, this is just part of the game. But listen, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. We're still going strong. Still trying to do a year, dropping 2 a days, 2 long form, 2 shorts. We sprinkling some lives here and there. Lives, we're trying to get them done on Sunday, 7:00 Central. So make sure you show up there. And when you do, jump in the chat. Right, this is the best way for the algo to see, hey, this channel is growing. Besides that, we got the membership open, so you can join the channel, and we got merch in the store. So hype the video and share the video. So listen, men are never really gonna feel bad for you when the panic sets in. When you start looking and saying, yo, What happened? Where's the men at? Right? We hear that is the phrase over and over again, but you're older, right? She said 38, 40. We know that it starts a little earlier. Now I'm not saying that you're not beautiful. We've got an entire beauty industry aimed at keeping you lively, vibrant, right? It's $1 billion industry for a reason. Say nothing the fact that they play on your own fears about you losing your looks and then supplement you with the solution. But in reality, this is just a function of time. What you're supposed to learn and gain during that time is experience in how to deal with men, how to understand men, how to actually learn how to build something together with men. You've got this beauty, you got the upper hand up front, but it's a bit of a marathon. This thing we're doing in life, it's a weird sprint / marathon hybrid. For men, they understand your value up front is near nothing. You got a young back and ingenuity and energy. That's all you really have to offer. But if you do the right thing over time, you go from having forced invisibility to being seen. If you didn't win the genetic lottery, again, fine. As long as you can make something of yourself in terms of money, in terms of status, you'll get the attention. Women don't have that advantage. You can do the same things as men do. We all see it. We all understand this. You can be successful and it not make you more attractive to a man. The longer we fight this, the more we're going to have these silly think pieces about how come men are not attracted to this, even though they've been telling you this again and again and again. So when men see you panic, when men see you get older and start looking and saying and lamenting and then telling the world that something's wrong with the men, where are the men? Yeah, they were exactly where they were when you were younger, when you were flaunting and you were taking advantage of all these things. When you were on the yacht, when you were on the super yacht, the mega super yacht, those same men, they're right there. When you trade on that, you pigeonhole yourself into a sort of lifestyle, and I get it. It gets harder and harder to see the end of that rainbow, but it's there. Now, we also can see part of the problem is older women who've had this experience, when they turn back, you see it right now with there's several celebrities saying stuff like this. You're making it seem like you didn't have the choice. You were dating men that were older. You were enjoying that in your prime. And now you turn back and want to say something's wrong with men. How come they're not interested in women their age? They weren't. They never were in that same extent. Now you're looking and you want to shame the men your age and say, how come you don't want to be with us? It's not that we're not attracted to women our age. That's not the case. But you didn't have time to develop anything outside of your look. It's a wonder when you hear men talking about, you all kind of have the same hive mind that you download your information from. You have the same prompts, you have the same ideas, you feel the same way about things. It's now that we're seeing a couple of little creators pop up and saying, no, I don't think like that. I don't think like that. And they become uber popular with men because they just are running against the stream. That's what we want to see, that you have a personality. Finding a woman that's funny, finding a woman that has her own hobbies, and not hobbies like I like to go to restaurants, I like to travel. Actual different things is a rarity. It's a breath of fresh air. So we understand this intrinsically. The more attractive you are, and this is when men get close to attractive women, and you see, well, where's the personality? Where's the personality? Outside of you being on TikTok and doing a new dance, we get it. Those men understand, I'm here for a short time and I'm going to replace you with someone as equally as beautiful or more so when the time is right, when I feel like it. So when you trade like on this, when you move like this in life and this benefits you, men don't feel sorry for you because he watched all this from the sidelines while he was trying to do the work. He had to eat shit for 10, 15 years before you ever turn around and say, oh, I never knew you were blah, 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 blah. Well, when you're decline and he's on his ascent, now you have this crisscross, and this is the time you think, hey, I can grab him. It's the whole thing with Mike B. Jordan in that report and saying, yeah, you were corny back then. Okay, let him do the work. let him do the work. And now that work, that part, that time portion of that work, you can't cheat that. You can't cheat that. So yeah, more think pieces, be upset more and more and more. Panic but we're not going to look at you and say, I feel so sorry for you. All this information is out there. You can look at this. It's just whenever men are speaking about stuff like this, you look and try to say and shame them for whatever they're doing. That's fine. Right? Again, men are just going to look and say, we're going to move accordingly. But listen, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see other videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And if you listen to my voice now, if you have not subscribed, I think you should. We're just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.